Hello everybody, my name is Joshua and I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of Coffee, Cats, and King, where we will discuss books, both new and old. I will share with you pictures of my cats, will make you wish they were your cats, and I will drink enough coffee for me and everybody watching. Now, let's address a few things. First of all, it is the start of the new year, and I decided to start the year off a little differently by waking up this morning sick. I don't know what I'm sick with. I just know that I'm sick. And you know what though? It's not going to prevent me from getting back on here finally. My whole setup here obviously is very different and at the moment very bland because my wife and I have officially moved into our new house. And I finally got enough crap put away that it wasn't going to look like I was in a hoarder home while I was trying to film. So, there's kind of a lot going on. I'll be trying out some new things as far as my setup goes here, so bear with me on that. Also bear with me if I sound weird or if there are a lot of cuts in this video. I'm kind of assuming that you guys aren't going to watch 10 to 15 minutes of me sneezing and coughing and clutching at my throat. So, yeah, just bear with me on that, but we'll get to the good stuff. This video, we're going to jump right in, is my January TBR, and I'm going to show off some book mail that I just received from a lovely subscriber. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, I'm going to start with the book mail because there are a couple of these books that I intend to include in my January TBR. So, just yesterday I received a package from one of my very first subscribers. She's been with me from the beginning and she's always an awesome support. That is Miss Cassie. Cassie, thank you so much. I know a while back you and I talked about, you said, oh, I think I have a couple Bentley Little books if you want me to send them your way. And I said, yeah, sure. And then, with the move and everything, it just didn't happen. Then I get this package yesterday and I did not expect all this. Well, let me just show them off to you guys because this is awesome. As far as the Bentley Little goes that we talked about, she sent me, this is one of my favorites from him actually. This is the collection. And again, I apologize with the lights, but this is the collection by Bentley Little. And this is his first short story collection. It's got some great stuff in here. One of my favorites and one of the most memorable to me is a little story called The Washingtonians, where basically we find out that George Washington was a cannibal and he kind of took over as the founding father of the country so that he could continue those cannibalistic tendencies. And all through history, there's a group of people, their sole job is to make sure that that part of history stays hidden. So really interesting stuff, and that's kind of how all of his stories go. If you've never read Bentley Little, he is very much on the satirical side of horror. He takes very commonplace things and makes them scary and outright crazy and ridiculous and wonderful. He has a tendency to start off really strong and to ramp up the horror as you go, to get you into these everyday situations that just spiral out of control, and then most of the time he crashes and burns when it comes to the ending. But for some reason I just keep gravitating back towards his writing. I love his stuff, and it's been a while since I've read anything by him. The collection was one of my favorites back in the day. I got rid of it when I got rid of a bunch of my other books. And so I'm very happy to have it back, and this copy she sent me is in excellent condition. The other book that she sent me from Bentley Little is one that I actually never made it to, despite reading almost everything that he has written, and that is one of his much earlier works titled The Town. Again, guys, I apologize about the lighting right now with these books. Hopefully you can see them okay, there's not too much glare. I'll be working on this, figuring out the best way to make this happen for you guys in the future. But The Town, again, another Bentley Little. This one is essentially a very classic horror setup. There's a man that returns to his hometown, this little small town in Arizona, and not much has changed from his childhood, or at least he seems to think at first. But as he's there longer, he starts noticing weird things. Strange rituals that the pastor has, and animals and people disappearing and ending up in strange places and in strange manners. It's probably one of the only Bentley Little that I have not read, but I'm really excited for it. And this one is actually in contention to be part of my TBR for this month. So we'll get to that in a few minutes. The next two books that Cassie sent me go with the book that I read previously from Michelle Baker titled Borderline. And I talked to you guys about that book. I loved that book. I might have raved a little about it actually, because it was just so original and so cool. The portrayal of mental illness and of handicapped characters in that, it was really awesome. Felt very real, despite the fact that the book is about people who hunt down fairies in a sort of Men in Black style. And I loved the book. And Cassie and I were kind of talking about it as well a while back, and I told her, well, I can't wait to get to it, but I don't know when it's going to happen. Well, Cassie sent me the other two books in the series, both with really pretty covers. Love these covers. This is the second one here, titled Phantom Pains, and this is definitely going to be part of my TBR for this month. And gorgeous covers on all three of the books, and just based on that first one, I know I'm in for a great ride with these next two. Then the other two books that Cassie sent me, these are also in contention for my January TBR. I kind of want to put a little poll out there in the comments and have you guys vote for which one of these I'm going to read this month. So, it's going to be The Town or Pen Pal by Dathan Auerbach. By Dathan. Pen Pal by Dathan. I've heard a lot about this book. This book has been on my to buy list for years and years and years, and I've just never picked it up. But this is one of those books that kind of has a cult following online, and I've always heard excellent things about it. I don't think I've heard anyone read this book that didn't enjoy it immensely. So I'm really excited to get to it. Question is, do I get to it this month or not? And then the last book she sent me, which is just so freaking awesome, another book that I've wanted forever, has such a cool cover. This is Michael McDowell's The Amulet. And I'm going to get that in close. Hopefully you guys can see just how cool that cover is. So, like I said, I want you folks to decide which of these three books I'm going to be reading this month. So let me know in the comments below, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see what you guys decide for me. And maybe we'll start doing that regularly, I think it'd be cool. Now let's get into the second part of this film. This is my actual January TBR for the month. So, the very first book that I intend to get to for the month, and I say that because I've actually already started it, is Stephen King's Hearts in Atlantis. And my gosh, this lighting's killing me. Okay, Hearts in Atlantis. Now, there's a funny story about this. As I said, I've actually started reading this one already, but I was talking to my wife about it because I told her back in 5th or 6th grade, so this has been, I don't know, 80 years ago, I read Hearts in Atlantis. And I remember loving it. I remember these college kids becoming obsessed with playing hearts, and basically all, slowly flunking out of their classes during the Vietnam War. And it's kind of a mix of that and a mix of them learning about what's going on over there, and some of them protesting and some of them supporting the war, and but I remembered all this, and then I started reading the book, and I realized that I didn't remember any of what was going on. I didn't remember the characters, and I was kind of wondering if I was thinking of a different book entirely. But then I got a ways into the book, and it kind of switched perspectives to a new main character, and that's where it picked up on what I remembered. So I don't know, it's interesting. Like I said, I've had for years, I've had this idea in my head that Hearts in Atlantis was one of my favorite Stephen King's, and how much I loved it. And then I realized I didn't remember the first 200 pages of it, and I'm pretty sure that I don't remember the last 200 pages of it. I just remember that middle part. So I don't actually know what I'm getting into anymore, but I am on the part now that I really loved and that I've remembered all these years. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know. Second will be the second Michelle Baker book, Phantom Pains, the follow-up to Borderline in this Arcadia Project series. I think it's a trilogy, actually. So I'm not going to talk a whole lot about that one just yet. Next up, I'm going to get into some science fiction. This is Eric Frank Russell with Somewhere a Voice. This is 7 science fiction stories from him. And Eric Frank Russell, he's one of those old science fiction authors that he was actually very prolific. Some of his stories ended up in, you know, some of those anthology shows like The Twilight Zone and Outer Limits, etc., etc. And but he's one of those guys that's not often thought of anymore or talked about anymore. And personally, I think he has some really great stuff, and I'm looking forward to getting into this. Okay, following that, I'm hoping to jump into Local Haunts, edited by Miss Regina St. Clair. Now, I was originally saving this for a very special kind of month that I had planned, but I realized that's just not going to happen. So this actually goes along with one of the other books that I know I'm going to get to. It's the only Kindle book that I know I'm going to get to this month, and that is Served Cold, edited by Miss Regina St. Clair. So, both of the the first 2 books from the HorrorTube, BookTube, AuthorTube community. Very much looking forward to both of them. I have started the first story from Served Cold. That comes from Mr. Cameron Chaney. Excellent job as always, of course, sir. And but I'm going to be reading both this month, letting you guys know what I think. And if nothing else, I'm just super excited to read stories from you guys. I mean, that's just so freaking cool to me. So very much looking forward to that. All right, next book that I want to pick up. I talked about this one recently. This is Joe R. Lansdale with The Bottoms. And I've said, if you are not reading Mr. Lansdale, then you should be, because he is an excellent, excellent author. This is sort of a coming-of-age horror, mystery, thriller, surrounded by murders in a small town and the legend of the Goat Man. So, if that does not pique your interest about this book, I don't know what to say. But for me, very much looking forward to reading it. I read it years ago. Don't remember it as well as I wish I did. Joe Lansdale, he never disappoints. Alright guys, a couple more books to go through here. This is getting into more science fiction, but the greatest of science fiction, in fact. This is Stories from the Twilight Zone by Rod Serling. I love this copy. I'm so happy that I was able to find this copy. This has quite a few of the classics, some of the best known Twilight Zone episodes in their original story format here. So I'm really looking forward to getting to this. I am an absolute Twilight Zone fanatic. It's one of those shows that I can rewatch again and again and again, and I have. And I feel like, 60 years from now, I'm still going to be somehow watching Twilight Zone. Now, this is another book that I talked about recently that I said I was super excited to pick up. I think it is either going to be absolutely wonderful, or it is going to be the next Panzer Spirit. And that is Christine Gentry with When Spirits Walk. Now, if you did not see in that last video where I talked about this book, please do yourself a favor and go check it out, because just the absolute insanity that I think this book is going to be. I mean, I think I'm either going to laugh through it all or cry through it all. I don't know which, but we're going to find out in January. All right, now I have one other book that I'm getting to this month, aside from the one that you guys picked for me. And I saved this one for last because I don't know if I'm actually going to get to it, or if I do, if I'm going to get through it. But I thought that I started out the year with a Stephen King, and interestingly enough, I am ending the month with a book that is bigger than the Stephen King that I'm reading, because I'm a madman. Now, this is one that I've had sitting for a long time, and I've really been wanting to get to it, but I just didn't. I felt like I didn't have the time, you know? I had that looming thought in my head that, oh, you gotta hit this many books by the end of the year. Which is silly, I know, because it's a self-imposed challenge, but that's just kind of how it was. But this is one I've had for a long time. I've never heard anybody talk about it. It's pretty massive. It's about 770 pages, but this is Rumpelstiltskin versus Miller, the child custody battle that turned a kingdom upside down. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is going to be good. Now, I have read just a couple reviews about this book, and they say that surprisingly, it is not as humorous and witty as you would think, but they actually take a very legal direction with this book. And so I don't know. It's not as tongue-in-cheek as I anticipated, I guess. So I really don't know what I'm going to get into here. But like I said, it's almost 800 pages. And it's just too intriguing not to wonder how this book is going to go. So there you go, guys. That is my January TBR, as well as this wonderful little collection of books that Cassie sent me. Cassie, thank you again. You were so awesome. I thank you all for your support. I will be back in a couple days with my wrap-up from December. And I'm also, once I get better, planning on doing another narration of one of my stories. And then I have some tag videos coming up, and possibly a couple collaboration videos with some people that I will be very excited to have on the channel. So, stick around. Happy New Year to all of you. Merry Christmas to all of you. Happy Thanksgiving, all that. I can't even remember the last time we talked, but I hope it went well for all of you. Can't wait to catch up on the comments. Stay tuned for some great content, and I'm going to go on and pepper you with a couple Catton pictures now.
A specific type of movement, porpoising, tends to cause vomiting.
Porpoising is in going up and down on a wave or like a roller coaster?
Yes, as opposed
Ladies
to
and gentlemen,
What would cause
Miss America.
being caught in the jet stream of another plane.
Havoc.
Flight nearby.
Is there something else, something mechanical perhaps?
All right, you can continue.
It's like
What are you doing?
so.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, baby.
Oh goodness. Gotta clean his paintbrush. You're so cute, buddy. By the way, we are not just super messy. Bags are like their favorite thing to play with other than straws. So there's Havoc. Havoc has had boundless amounts of energy today, so he is finally taking a little nap. Yeah, I swear it is like having perpetual toddlers, except these are toddlers that can jump like 12 feet in the air, so yeah. And we'll call it a day. Thank you all for joining me. Have a wonderful day. Tomorrow is my birthday, so we'll see how things go, but you'll probably get another video maybe Monday or Tuesday. Stay safe, drink good coffee. Cheers.